We have never faced a threat like this. A team is being assembled. They are the best operatives in the world. When all else fails, we don't.
G.I. Joe-figurene har fylt mange gutterom siden de første utgavene kom i 1964 som en reaksjon på Barbie-dukkene. 27 år gamle Jon Horr fra Bryne har samlet siden han var liten.
Jeg tror samlingen min teller på ca. 600-700 figurer. Jeg hadde mange fra når jeg var barn, og så har jeg tatt godt vare på dem. Så er det litt nostalgi.
Nå skal figurene stilles ut i Norsk Barnemuseum i Stavanger. G.I. Joe-samlerkollega Runar Slåtten er flydd inn fra Oslo og bidrar med sine ting.
Jeg synes ikke det er for mye i det hele tatt.
Og det er slett ikke tilfeldig at disse figurene nå presenteres samtidig med utstillingen Barn og krig, som Barnemuseet åpnet for et par uker siden.
I Barn og krig så viser vi barns opplevelser av det å befinne seg i en krigssituasjon, mens her viser vi hvordan barn leker krig. Og unger har jo til enhver tid lekt krig, både i krig og fred. Og derfor så viser vi et par innfallsvinkler om barns opplevelser av krig, både gjennom lek og virkelighet.
Hjemme må Jon oppbevare de fleste figurene i esker. Dette er første gang han får stilt dem ut.
Jeg synes det er veldig kjekt, for det er jo den endelige måten å få samlet på, og få vist det til andre på denne måten. Og ja, jeg håper at det er mange som kommer til å like denne utstillingen målet på denne.
Hey, it's Jon. I'd like to show you something I made. This is my G.I. Joe collection at the museum in Norway. And the year is 2009. There's me, 15 years ago. I contacted Norwegian Children's Museum in Stavanger, Norway, and asked if they wanted to show my toys. I had them lying in cases, and I just felt it had no use. So I got in touch with them and asked if they wanted to borrow some of my toys, and they said, yeah, we'd like to have them all. And where I assumed they wanted one display case with various toys, they wanted all my G.I. Joes. They felt it worked for their Children and War exhibition. So I had access to 5 rather large display cases and a week to build. I called my friend Runar and we just got going. The first display here is our introduction display. Comics, file cards, booklets, various figures, information plaques, kind of introducing the G.I. Joe concept to the museum goers. Different sizes of the figures. We also talk a bit about the construction of the G.I. Joe figure. And at that time, both me and my friend Runa was heavily into customizing of G.I. Joes, and we brought some of that knowledge into this exhibition. Of course, we had never built anything this large, and lots of the stuff we do here we did for the first time. There's me self-custom me. The first display case here we felt was kind of awkward in size, small. Smaller than the others, tall and narrow. But with the Sky Striker box, I like that was the introduction. Larry Hama, I asked him to just draw any Joe he wanted, and by instinct he drew Snake Eyes. I'm not sure if that still hangs in the museum, but yeah, it's theirs to do whatever they want with. So the next display here is the hanger, and probably my favorite. Flat, kind of wide. We used plywood and painted it black, electrical tape for the markings. And yeah, the exhibition opened in 2009 and was standing for 2 years. And during that time, the electrical tape markings had loosened a bit and curled up a bit. So I had to go back into this case a few times and just fix up a few things. I also used the opportunity to change out a few of the planes. I removed one of the Phantoms and included a Crusader. I also included, I believe, the Vector from Battle Force 2000. This was kind of a simple hangar. We decided to go for the open roof to see the mission brief inside. We could have, of course, just crammed all my G.I. Joes into these display cases, but that would just be chaotic, and we instead wanted to tell a story. So for most of these display cases, there's a concept written on these plaques. You can see here that we're trying to tell a story with they're saluting each other. There's a ninja sneaking in the back there, and Quarrel is speeding towards the hangar with vital information. And I believe kids like that. This was more telling a story than just showing off the toys. And in the process, we also got to play with the toys, which of course is amazing. Silverbat Grand Slam, hardtop. There's some rare figures here. I like this map with the mission brief. Some great figures there. The army dudes. Falcon, Snake Eyes, Outback. I like this display with the jets. The next display here is the Arctic display. We'll see in a minute. With the Arctic display, you can see there's kind of this blue lighting, and that's because the display on the other side is affecting this like a fortunate, just happy accident. We used plaster, painted it white and blue accents. And my sister painted these pieces for the short ends. She's a skilled painter, and I believe I still have these paintings somewhere. There's a mighty avalanche, the vehicle there. I'm so glad. And that goes for many of these toys. I just find it fascinating that they have been in an actual national museum in Norway. So, and I'm thinking about all the weird toys I managed to include here, like this custom figure behind there. I believe I called him Front Point. It's a climber. Like I said, I was heavily into customizing figures at this point. There's the Arctic Snake Eyes based on an iceberg. But we also included many main characters, like Cobra Commander, Baroness are both driving these wolves. You can see snow serpents, ice vipers, so many basic main characters could be seen here. We decided to split this display cabinet in two, with the second part being unopened Joes from around the world, to show that this was a toy line that was popular in many countries. Here you see a Spanish target, skydiver. Oh, the gorgeous TNT there. Man, that's a piece. Windmill, such a ridiculous figure. And I also had Ripcord from England. That's a Norwegian buzzer. Japanese Scarlet. So I liked including many different nationalities here in this cabinet, with the velvet backdrop there. Agent Sparta from Brazil. And that Japanese Fang there, I bought sealed on eBay for $10. This was in 2009. I believe I bought that in 2007 even. Prices on many of these objects are a bit higher than they were 15 years ago, but, well, not that dramatic, I would think. A complete avalanche is difficult to find these days. It wasn't back then. So this Battle at the Sea, probably the one that took the most work. We struggle a bit with how to make a realistic sea with you can also include the seabed. So we split it in two with acrylic plates with blue foil and on these acrylic tubes or tube risers. And that way we got to include both above and beneath the sea. Tiger Force Morays, not the 1985 version. And lots of night landings, lots of Cobra troopers, lots of army builders in this scene. Devilfish, There's Shipwreck. Hawk was included in all the displays, and that was like a quiz or a small task for the kids to try and find Hawk. You could see their chuckles on the manta. And yeah, Tug of War Shipwreck, kind of rare figure. So this was like a sealed case. We couldn't get to the seafloor here after we sealed it. And the back there is kind of empty. But we like the setting here with the downed stiletto. Joe Divers trying to salvage the black box. And of course Cobra is aware and are rolling out their giant sea-going vehicles in the Bug and the Hammerhead. Secto Vipers there, some divers hanging from strings. And that firebomb there, the red Secto Viper. 2 weeks into the exhibition, his O-ring broke. And we just had to leave him there for the next 2 years. 2 weeks into the exhibition, he was down. Oh, that's my Hammerhead. It's right now sitting right next to me here in my office. Probably one of my favorite toys of all time. Well, the same could be said about many of these. Night Landing, Piranha. Oh, so many great action figures. The final scene here is the desert leading into the jungle. Joes are charging a Cobra outpost. Once again, my sister painted these gorgeous backdrops, really setting the tone and filling the empty void there and making the scene a bit bigger. My childhood thunderclaps, on display in my living room right now, but at least for 2 years someone else got to see it. This was a more traditional display, and my friend Runa was really skilled at building these scenes and creating like small dioramas, especially with the more traditional war theme. And again, included a plaque telling the story, and our goal was that kids should be able to find many of the details we mention in these information sheets. Bullhorn there hiding in his small outpost. A downed his tank, tons of damaged Cobra troopers. I was at this point not that into army building, so many of these Vipers came from my friend Runar's collection. Otherwise, most of these items were mine, and many of them are still in my personal collection. So the Cobra here, Cobra Outpost palms made by bamboo and fake plastic leaves. So we had, of course, had we had better time, we would probably have done things a bit different. But we made do with the time we had, and we had a really great time. This was probably the most fun I had with toys ever. And I still think a bit of the same way when I decorate and introduce new toys to my shop. I try to display them a bit playful, and with that in mind, that these are toys. And I believe people like that way of when they come into my shop, they mention that this is fun. It looks like I'm having fun with the toys. There's the Fang hanging from the Fang I spoke about, the purchase from eBay, $10, and that's of course still here right next to me in my office. Yeah, we had an amazing time with this, and yeah, I know this footage, the quality of the video is really awful, but at least I have footage of it, and I'm really glad I do. That's me a long time ago. I may not look quite the same, but I still like the same things as I did back then. Yeah. Hope you enjoyed seeing this G.I. Joe exhibition for the Norwegian Children's Museum. I'm glad I got to show it here to you guys.